My name is Nico Schröer. I'm a partner manager in the Play Apps partnerships team in Berlin, Germany, and it's my absolute pleasure to be here with all of you today.
Did you guys have fun at the concert last night? Me too. And I have a sore throat to prove it. Hello, everybody. My name is Gina. I'm on the Play Apps partnerships team here in Mountain View. Like Nico, I'm super excited to welcome you here to our session. Tools and tips to boost user engagement and retention. I/O 2017 has been incredibly exciting with a lot of great announcements. We heard that the Android ecosystem has grown tremendously with the number of developers that have over 1 million monthly installs that have grown 35% in the last year. There are 2 billion monthly active Android devices today, and people have downloaded 82 billion apps from the Play Store. That's amazing, and it's all the hard work that you have put in. So give yourself a round of applause. In the last 3 days, we have had so many really inspiring conversations with developers such as yourself here at I/O. And they have come and told us how they're excited for this session because boosting engagement within their apps is one of the most important topics for them.
And we find it exciting indeed. We, of course, completely agree that boosting user engagement is a key topic. If you all quickly recall Sundar's keynote on Wednesday, actually he talked about the reach and also the engagement that our own products are seeing within the first probably 3 minutes of the keynote. But then talking about user engagement today is also very humbling because optimizing for user engagement is a constant challenge for developers. We totally understand that. And I think we can all agree that boosting user engagement is not a tool, it's not a single tip, it's not even a single best practice. It's the combination of a lot of things that have to be done right and have to be constantly optimized in order for it to work. So from our daily work with developers in different regions and with different backgrounds, we know that even for the smartest developers, staying on top of all of these details all the time can be very hard. So that is why in today's sessions, we want to do the following. We're going to give you a holistic overview of proven best practices on how to boost user engagement in apps. And to underline that we're not making this up, we actually have examples from some of the leading developers around the world to share with you and to show that it actually works. So Gina, shall we take a look at what we're going to cover today?
Absolutely. So it starts with defining your objective for engagement. Now, if you do not know what exactly you want your users to engage, you would not know what you want to boost. With a clear objective in mind for improving engagement, then it's all about testing which optimization can increase engagement for you.
Yeah, and once you define the optimization and the engagement objective, and you found that feature that performs best, you also want to release it smartly. It's very important to land it with your users. Topic number 4 we're going to look in today is great onboarding. It's a topic that's really, really close to my heart. When it comes to user engagement, it's just such a crucial step in the user's journey.
Also crucial are smart and successful content launches to give your users exactly what they're looking for, as well as stimulate greater and long-term engagement. And finally, building an effective communication strategy, specifically around notifications, and that can help drive further user awareness. Wow, that's a lot of things that we're going to be covering today.
Yep.
So Nico, do you want to kick it off with the first one?
Sure, let's go, right? Let's unpack this. So defining your engagement objective really starts with something that sounds very simple, but yet can be very tricky to actually get to. You have to have a clear idea of what's your proposition to users. What is it that makes your business stand out? What makes your app or the service you offer special? Based on that, how is it that you actually want your user to engage with your app? Let's look at some examples. Everybody here knows Airbnb, I guess. Their value proposition is to let their customers experience foreign places in a unique way by staying with locals. Accordingly, for Airbnb, engagement is measured in nights booked, and that is what they optimize for. IM is a community by photographers for photographers. Their engagement objective is to get users to upload photos. IM found that users uploading one photo on day 0 increases day 7 retention by 2.5x. Even further, users uploading 8 photos over the first 7 days can be retained over a much longer period of time. Very clear objective that they can optimize against, and that works. At YouTube, it's all about watch hours, and so are the optimizations of the user experience. And lastly, OneFootball, an app that provides football fans around the world with live scores and curated football news. They look at different engagement drivers, with the key one being articles read per user. So as you can see from these different examples, the definition of how to drive user engagement or what user engagement means can be quite different. But what all of these examples of these developers have in common, that they individually have a very clear idea of their engagement objective, and thus how to drive engagement with their users.
So laying out a clear engagement objective is the basis on which you can optimize the app experience. You can have plenty of ideas, larger, smaller features that you're trying to improve. But how are you going to identify which one actually drives user engagement? You'd have to do multiple experiments and run a lot of tests. Now start with the hypotheses. Develop 2 or more variants and set up a test to run about a minimum period of time so that you can get a statistically significant result. Now, individual factors may vary because of the use cases. So let's take a look at it with an example. OneFootball, a popular football app constantly working towards driving their engagement goal. As Nico mentioned, users reading more articles. With several feature options in mind, they use Firebase remote config. And that lets them change app components on the server side. And they are not making any updates to the app itself. They're able to test different variations before they release the best performing option to all their users. Now, in this particular experiment, they had 3 variations. The winning variation saw an increase of 5% in sessions per user, and also saw an increase of 6% in articles that users were reading per user. As a result, that variation was rolled out to all the users. Now, this is a great example of someone who did that with a combination of 3 things. The engagement objective that was really clear, the ideas that they had for optimization, and a tool like Firebase remote config to make it all happen.
By the way, the OneFootball team is in the audience. Quick round of applause. There they are. Woo. Great job, guys. So having defined the objective and run a test with a successful result is great. Now you really want to make sure not to mess it up when releasing the feature to a large set of users. What do I mean by that? That you want to make sure that the roller is actually technically stable and that users actually notice what has changed. To make sure that you land the feature release, just follow a very simple process. First, ensure that the new build is technically stable. That is just very important. It was mentioned in other talks before, but we see that 50% of one-star reviews on Google Play mention topics complaining about app stability and bugs. So if we take as a proxy for happy or unhappy users, then those users are pretty unhappy. And it's quite simple. Unhappy users are much harder to engage and retain, right? Secondly, leverage the features you have on the Play console, such as alpha and beta groups, go to soft launch, and then gradually go to full rollout. And then, for the user, make sure that you actually visually guide them to what's new in the app, as you can see from the material design example on the slides. To support you in this process, we launched a couple of new reports in the Play console, which we strongly recommend you to use. They were discussed in depth in several other talks, which I recommend you to check out. But just very quickly, the pre-launch report now provides developers with even more test coverage and understanding of your app. For example, you get a great overview of key screens across devices. Secondly, the release dashboard gives you updates on the release as it happens with hourly data. Using both of these reports is a best practice to release stable updates and keeping users happy and engaged. If we take Play Store reviews as a proxy another time, we see that 60% of users rating apps with 5 stars actually praise speed, design, and usability. As simple as that. OK, on to number 4, my favorite topic, user onboarding. User onboarding is a unique opportunity to learn about users' preferences and show them what is great about your app. A great example of, So when optimizing for that, keep a couple of things in mind. The onboarding should be fast, seamless, and immersive. Ideally, the onboarding doesn't feel like onboarding. Ideally, it feels like it's a contextual core part of the user experience. A good example, and you see I got really excited about that already, is health and fitness developer Freeletics. So Freeletics gets users really fit through individualized workout plans. About onboarding, the guys from Freeletics actually say they don't onboard users. They directly and progressively immerse them with the experience. So for new users, the immersive product experience really starts with the onboarding flow, where it's all about the results that they want to achieve using Freeletics. Based on the onboarding, users get a customized training plan which engages them as free athletes to use the app several times a week to train and become fitter and healthier. Another really cool example is OneFootball. OneFootball's onboarding process is designed to drive engagement through personalization. Any football fans in the audience? Quick show of hands. Soccer fans. There we go. So all of you will know what OneFootball's research confirms. Real football fans mostly care about their one team. So the onboarding experience of OneFootball's app is really optimized for that. So after downloading the app, you select which one is your favorite team. I really like Arsenal London, so I selected them. On the second screen already, it's Arsenal themed, as you can see by the red color. As a user, I can now pick which of Arsenal's competition I want to follow. Once I've done that, in my case, I probably selected all of them. Once I've done that, I'm done. Now my home screen, which is what you see now, really centers about what's most important to me. It's the latest results of Arsenal. In this case, they were going to play Manchester United a couple of weeks back. Further, my news stream now really centers around Arsenal-specific news. And actually, so do the push notifications. So thanks to a fast, very simple, and immersive onboarding experience, the OneFootball experience is much more personalized, relevant, and engaging to their users. And while it's not a must, a lot of the advantages of great onboarding actually come with offering users login functionality. For example, if you really work cross-screen, you want to save users' preferences, login is a super useful thing to have for your users. But we know that building account infrastructure can be complex and challenging. So luckily, Google has two really great solutions for that. Let's look at number one. Google Signin lets users access your app with their Google login. In this example, I want to show you Mobiles Labs. It's a budget planning app from Brazil, offers a super quick and fast login process using Google Signin. Mobiles Labs, are you guys here? I know they were supposed to. There we go. OK, quick round of applause. Quick shout out. So after downloading Mobiles, the user taps to sign in with Google. They tap to confirm which account they want to use from the Google account selector, and they're in. As simple as that. Super quick, super fast. According to the Mobiles CEO, Carlos Tercero, logins increased by 300% after implementing Google Sign-In, and is now the most popular choice for logging in. The second solution Google offers for developers to make this very easy is Smart Log for Passwords. With Smart Log for Passwords, users can log into apps using the credentials they have saved, which the developers, you, can retrieve with a specific API. So the example here, or there as well, shows Jazio. Jazio is a calorie counting app that helps its users develop a healthier lifestyle. So after my week here, I ate lots of burgers, and I want to go back and live a healthier lifestyle. So I download Jazio, and from here, the flow is super simple. I select my goal, which is stay healthy. And after that, Jazio lets me create an account. It's very straightforward. The Smart Log email picker lets me pick which email I want to use for my account. The details are pre-filled, and I only have to add the password. And I'm done. I'm in, and I can start using the app. Implementing Smart Log significantly improved the signing experience for Jazio users and saw some great results. Actually, sign-up conversions increased by 14%, and over 70% of those users used an email address that was suggested. I mean, why wouldn't you? I hate typing in my email address myself. So for a personalized app like Jazio that really depends on having my user preferences saved, this is really crucial to engage users and a great example on how to use Smart Log for that. Oh.
Thank you. So the insights that you learn from your user's preference during onboarding, that can be leveraged as you think about boosting engagement with successful content launches. Now, what do I mean by that? Game developers have successfully done this in the form of live ops. Have you heard of live ops before? OK, let me tell you. They are a key focus for game developers at the moment, and there are interesting insights for app developers. Put simply, live ops is running games as a service. Think of it as the game becoming a dynamic product that is constantly changing, giving players new experiences every day. The goal of live ops is to augment engagement, stimulate monetization, and reduce player churn. We see three components to live ops. We see content, we see sales, and events. And this combination has proved very successful for game developers. Now, in the context of apps, let me show that with an example. Memrise. They're an innovative language learning app. Are you guys in the audience? OK. So an innovative language learning app ran a back-to-school offer in September last year to motivate users to start early when the school year starts. They released beginner and advanced versions of new language combinations and ran a global campaign that also offered discount for their annual subscription program. This was a great success for them, and it actually boosted additional engagement from this particular campaign and resulted in over 32% increase in revenue. Lastly, and probably more importantly, an effective communication strategy that can be a great way to make users aware of all the features that can drive engagement. App push notifications are not new to anyone. They're not new to us. They're not new to us as a developer or as a user. And there's so much innovation happening there now, and it's a good time to revisit your strategy around push notifications. So let's go through some of the main characteristics of good notification. I say notification, but these are also applicable to other channels of communication, like in-app messaging, emails. Relevance. Sounds simple. You want to send messages that are relevant to the user, right? But it can be really hard to find out what is relevant. So think about sending messages that matter to the user in the context that they're in. Be mindful of the tone you use. Be mindful of the language that you select. Also be creative and true to your brand. One way of ensuring that is to actually give them the option to let them select various alternatives during the onboarding flow. Actionable. Notifications can sometimes be used to inform and sometimes update content, as well as allow users to take specific actions. Whatever action or info that you want to show in your notification, you want to make sure that that is also accounted for in the engagement metrics. Personalized. We're not equal. So are your users. They're not created equal. For effective communication, segment your user base, create cohorts, and find customized ways to tailor your messaging to them. Also give them options to opt in and opt out, or filter proactively. Timeliness. Raise your hands if you have ever received not important messages or notifications just when you're getting to bed. OK. So right message at the right time and at the right frequency can drive user engagement. Consider the day of the week. Consider the time zone that they're in. And sometimes you can also give them one-click alternatives, like read later. On Android, rich notifications are incredibly valuable. And it's a valuable surface that drives meaningful engagement. And with every release, we're enhancing the feature set. Take a look at what we're launching with Android O in the preview. And there are many features around notifications that are coming as part of Android O. So let's take a look at some examples. The Guardian. Do not judge me of the example with whatever the political inclinations that we have. But let's take the look at this example, which is a great example of how they drove user engagement with their mobile app during the recent US election by using new notifications functionality in Android N. They used innovative techniques to give their users a rich, real-time update on the election results as they happened. As you can see, the notifications are super creative. They used avatars. They had a real-time progress bar to give you real-time updates in a creative manner, and lots of up-to-date results. The Guardian saw an impressive engagement of about 170,000 users who signed up to see the alert, with an average of 5 interactions per user. Another important characteristic, as I mentioned before, is when notifications are actionable whenever possible. Citymapper is an app that gives users smart commute notifications. And it uses an FYI, for your information, type of notifications at the relevant time for the user. According to Gilbert Weedham, the head of design at Citymapper, notifications on Android, and therefore delivering notification and information right to the user's lock screen, is such a powerful feature for them. Their notification for daily commute updates with real-time information is really useful for all their users who are commuting and using that information during their commute. And it's a great way to update their users on any changes that take place and drive daily re-engagement to the app. I want to share another example of creating relevance by combining innovative technologies. And I'm going to highlight StoreCard, who enables you to manage loyalty cards on your phone. They use the Awareness API to notify you when you're near a chain store with loyalty points that you are tracking. Now, what is Awareness API? The Awareness API unifies 7 location and contextual signals into a single API, enabling you to create powerful, context-based experiences for your user with minimal impact on system resources. So now you can combine potentially processed context signals in new ways that were not previously available to you, while letting the API manage system resources so that your app doesn't have to. Finally, in terms of tools that you can use to drive effective notifications, I want to highlight Firebase notifications. This is a free service that enables targeted user notification for mobile app developers. It is based on Firebase Cloud messaging and provides an option if you need a flexible notification system that requires little effort to get started. They integrate very closely with Firebase Analytics. So now you can target notifications by customizing audiences. Now with notifications targeted to user segments, you can contact exactly the right user at the right time with updates on available upgrades, features that you're launching, or any other news that you want them to know. And this works across Android, iOS, and web.
Great, so here we go. 6 key areas for you to optimize your app in to boost user engagement. Start with clearly defining your objective. Test your features, and then, if you have a winner, release it smartly. Leverage the opportunity that onboarding provides. It's really a key moment in the user journey where you can learn about users' preferences. And then strategically launch content. And most importantly, follow all of the superb tips about effective notifications Gina just provided. So that is a good list of things to get right and constantly improve. Yet, we want to recommend you another area to optimize engagement in your app: behavioral insights. It is a super hot topic, like super hot. Our expert, Jenny Fisher, put over 1 year of research into it and covered this in a dedicated talk early this morning. So if you didn't get the chance to check it out yet, we recommend you to follow the link on the slides, and then we're probably going to put it in the video description as well, to learn all about how to leverage behavioral insights to boost user engagement and retention. So we covered a lot of ground with you today, and really hope it resonated with you. What do you think? Yeah? Cool. Thanks. And we do fully appreciate that it's a lot of information. This is day 3. You have heard a lot of great sessions. You have watched a lot of great sessions on live streams, I hope. But as with every session, the most important thing remains. What are you going to do differently after this talk? What's next? Well, for today, we want to make it very easy for you. We appreciate that it's warm, you're here, you want to go out and enjoy the sun, enjoy the rest of the talks, and then probably have a cool drink. So for now, all we want you to do is note down this link. Nothing more. Write it down, or type it in your phone, or take a picture. I will give you a moment to actually do that. Cool. Then you can go and enjoy the rest of I/O. But on Monday, or even if it's Sunday, when you go back to work, go to the link. What you will find is our app engagement checklist to download. It helps you. It reminds you of all the areas you can optimize to boost user engagement, and actually provides a set of questions you can use, you can ask yourself or you can ask your team to identify the area and where your app engagement has more room for improvement. So download this and use it, go through the questions, and then start optimizing with the tips you learned today. And of course, everything you learned across the last couple of days. And capture the full opportunity Google Play offers to you as a developer. And with that,
thank you.
Thank you very much.